Many of us are convinced that the world is full of kind people. We tend to believe that everyone around us is striving for the best for themselves and for us. But life sometimes brings unexpected surprises. We meet people who don't always take care of our interests. These people can be manipulative, violent, and toxic. They can be anyone: friends, relatives, colleagues, or even strangers, and often hide their real goals. It is very important to understand that someone is not good for you. Sometimes these destructive personalities creep into your life unnoticed, and before you realize it, they can harm your mental state, happiness, and peace of mind. So please like this video, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and listen intently to these important lessons. Remember, your world deserves you to fight for it. Sign 1. Toxic people use your vulnerabilities against you. These individuals are not just manipulators. They are extremely prudent and often try to gain your trust by examining your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Once they understand what's causing your insecurity or what's putting you in a difficult position, they start using it to their advantage. It could be a setback from the past, your fears, or something very personal that you shared with them in a confidential conversation. For example, someone might remind you of your failures to make you feel inferior by saying something like, "I don't understand why you're complaining," because you were never good at it in the first place. Or, for example, they might remind you, "Everyone knows you've always struggled with this." They may recall your past traumas or moments of insecurity in order to belittle you and make you feel insignificant, trying to control the situation. By exploiting your vulnerabilities, toxic people seek to reduce your self-esteem and make you powerless. It not only hurts, but also makes you constantly doubt yourself. You start to lose confidence in whether you're good enough, whether your feelings are important, and whether you can trust your own thoughts. To protect yourself, it is important to learn to recognize the moments when someone uses your past for manipulation. While it's important to be open and vulnerable in a relationship, it's equally important to know who and what to share personal information with. If someone uses your vulnerabilities to manipulate or harm you, this is a clear signal that such a person does not bring anything good into your life. Learn to set healthy boundaries and be careful who you trust with your personal experiences. Toxic people often feel deeply envious, and this is reflected in their inability to enjoy your successes. Instead of sharing your joy, they may belittle your achievements or remain indifferent. When something good happens to you, whether it's a job promotion, a personal achievement, or a joyful event, they usually aren't able to be genuinely happy for you. For example, a toxic colleague might roll their eyes when they hear about your promotion, or a friend might say something like, "Yes, that's great, but don't get too cocky." They may even try to overshadow your achievements by saying things like, "I did this last year," or "That's cool, but I'm working on something more important right now." In fact, they feel threatened by your success and try to belittle it so as not to feel inferior. It is important to recognize this because it clearly shows that such a person is not interested in your well-being. Toxic people often use flattery as a manipulative tactic to gain control and influence over others. They may shower you with excessive compliments or praise, but there are often other motives behind it. Instead of being sincere, their compliments serve the purpose of making you feel obligated in exchange for their approval. 2. Toxic people are often extremely self-centered, which means that they focus solely on their needs and desires while ignoring the feelings and needs of others. They can dominate conversations, paying attention only to themselves, or show interest in you only when they need something, but ignore you when you need support. For example, such a friend will turn to you only for emotional help, but when you have difficulties, he is not there. A partner may demand that you forget about your own needs and focus only on them, ignoring your priorities. These people always share their achievements and problems, but rarely take an interest in yours. Dealing with selfish people can be exhausting as you're constantly giving back, and they don't offer anything in return. This creates a sense of a one-sided relationship, which eventually drains and robs you of energy. Over time, this one-sided dynamic begins to drain your resources, leaving you feeling helpless and undervalued. Toxic people expect attention, time, and energy from you, but are rarely willing to do the same for you. To protect yourself, it is important to recognize in time when you are in such a relationship. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and balance, where both sides take care of each other. If you find that you always give but receive only emptiness in return, this is a sign that you are communicating with an egocentric person. The most important step in such situations is to set clear boundaries and take care of your own needs. Toxic individuals often use kind, generous, and caring people to take advantage. If you tend to help, listen to, or support others, such people can manipulate you, knowing that you won't refuse, even if they don't deserve it. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and balance, where both sides take care of each other. If you find that you always give but receive only emptiness in return, this is a sign that you are communicating with an egocentric person. The most important step in such situations is to set clear boundaries and take care of your own needs. Toxic individuals often use kind, generous, and caring people to take advantage. If you tend to help, listen to, or support others, such people can manipulate you, knowing that you won't refuse, even if they don't deserve it. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not one-sided generosity. One of the most destructive tactics used by toxic people is to isolate their victim from others. These people seek to make you dependent on them in order to gain full control over your emotions and decisions. Isolation often begins unnoticed. For example, a toxic person may suggest spending more time with them, criticizing your other relationships, or making you feel guilty about spending time with others. For example, a partner might say, "You're with your friends all the time, and I'm alone here." Isolating someone is an obvious tactic of manipulators and toxic people. To protect yourself, it's important to keep in touch with those who genuinely care about you. Don't forget to value friendships and listen to the advice of those who want the best for you. Toxic people tend to pull you away from your support network because it makes it easier for them to manipulate you. Don't let them achieve this. Often such people are able to introduce confusion and uncertainty into your perception of reality. If you feel embarrassed or doubt yourself around this person, this is a clear signal. They can be kind and caring, but after a moment, they become cold or critical. It can be a promise that is not fulfilled or words that do not coincide with actions. 8. Toxic people often try to undermine your self-esteem. Initially, their behavior may not be so obvious, but over time it destroys your self-confidence. They may make hurtful remarks, criticize your achievements or appearance to make you feel that you are not good enough. For example, a toxic person might say, "You could be more successful if you just tried harder," or "You'll always be like this if you don't change." These comments are aimed at making you feel like a failure, broken, or unable to succeed in life. The goal of these people is to make you doubt your own worth and self-perception. It's important not to let them affect your sense of self. Recognizing these attempts early will help you avoid falling into the trap of their manipulations. When a person constantly ignores your boundaries, it's a clear signal that they don't respect your feelings and needs. These toxic people can violate your personal boundaries by demanding too much from you, manipulating you, or invading your personal space without permission. This can happen in a variety of ways. They may demand your time, interfere in your personal affairs, or ignore your words and requests. For them, your boundaries don't exist, and they expect you to conform to their desires, even if it contradicts your comfort or well-being. For example, they may unceremoniously intrude into your personal schedule or ask questions that are uncomfortable for you without considering your emotions. This behavior can be very debilitating as you begin to feel that your desires and needs are not important. It is very important to be aware when your boundaries are being violated and actively defend them. Setting and respecting boundaries is not just a way to preserve your psyche, but also a sign of self-respect. If someone ignores your boundaries, that's a red flag that shouldn't be ignored. Toxic people often violate your boundaries, ignoring your needs and comfort for the sake of their own interests. For example, a colleague may often call you after work hours, despite your desire to relax, or a friend may come to you unannounced, even if you said you needed personal space. If someone constantly ignores your boundaries, it shows that they don't respect you as a person. It is necessary to express your needs clearly and firmly, and if a person continues to violate them, it may be worth moving away from him. You deserve respect, and no one should make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. 3. Toxic people often use criticism as a way to humiliate others, disguising their hurtful remarks as help or constructive feedback. They may find reasons to criticize things that you can't control, highlighting your flaws or mistakes to make you feel like a failure. For example, a partner might say, "You'd be much more attractive if you lost a few pounds." And a friend might say, "You should move forward in life." At first, such comments may seem inconsequential, but over time, as it becomes a habit, they begin to undermine your self-esteem. Toxic people can criticize every detail, from your appearance and decisions to your achievements, creating the feeling that you are not good enough. To protect yourself, it is important to learn to recognize when you are criticized not for the purpose of helping, but in order to manipulate. If you face constant criticism, it's worth considering whether this person is really interested in your well-being. Healthy boundaries and self-confidence will help you not let his words affect your perception of yourself. 4. Toxic people often play the role of victim, avoiding responsibility for their actions. Instead of admitting their mistakes, they turn the situation around so that you feel guilty for their problems. For example, they might say, "You never understand how hard it is for me," or "Everyone always does this to me. I can't even relax." Toxic people, playing the role of victim, manipulate others, causing self-pity. This allows them to avoid responsibility and makes others feel like they have an obligation to help. This kind of emotional manipulation focuses attention on their difficulties, displacing your own needs and well-being. It's natural to show empathy, but you shouldn't take on the emotional burden of other people's problems. Toxic individuals often try to control the perception of others by manipulating how others see you. They may distort facts, spread false rumors, or exaggerate details in order to form the public opinion they need. This tactic is often used to isolate you from others and turn them against you. For example, a toxic colleague may spread rumors about you in the office, undermining your reputation by claiming, "Have you heard? It is impossible to work with this person," although this is far from the truth. In a personal relationship, such manipulations may look like false stories spread by a partner among friends or family in order to arouse doubt or distrust, despite your innocence. The purpose of this behavior is to manipulate the perception of others, often for personal gain. This may be caused by envy, a desire to keep control, or simply a desire to undermine your reputation. Toxic people are willing to do anything to make you look bad. To protect yourself, it is important to carefully monitor the difference between your actions and what others may hear from a toxic person. 5. They manipulate your emotions. Toxic people are very adept at using your feelings for their own purposes, knowing exactly how to influence you. They know exactly which pain points to tap to make you feel guilty, sad, or angry. They can twist your words or actions to make you feel guilty, even if you haven't done anything wrong. For example, if you decide to talk about how their actions hurt you, they may respond, "You're always so dramatic," or "You're overreacting. It wasn't that bad." It makes you doubt your emotions, and their actions remain without consequences. This behavior can be extremely debilitating, especially when it is repeated. As a result, you may begin to doubt your feelings and think that you're being overly sensitive or unfair in your reactions. Be confident in your emotions and be open about your needs, not allowing yourself to be manipulated or distorted. Toxic people will never truly enjoy your success or support you because their goal is always to be above others. Better. This can manifest itself in both personal and professional relationships. Don't let the behavior of toxic people make you doubt your worth. Instead of succumbing to their attempts to belittle your successes, focus on your own achievements and surround yourself with those who sincerely support you and rejoice in your victories. In life, we meet people who either inspire us or try to sink us. The ability to recognize the signs of toxic personalities plays an important role in maintaining your mental and emotional health. Trust your instincts, protect your inner peace, and don't let anyone obscure your light. Remember that not all people with a smile on their face have good intentions. The sooner you recognize malicious intentions, the easier it will be to maintain your emotional balance. If you've ever felt exhausted or manipulated by someone close to you, or if this material has resonated in your heart, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more life-changing ideas. Thanks for watching.